We good?
All right, so we here again. We are out here at H&M Texture Hair Show here in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Hilton Hotel.
Yes, sir.
I'm William Graham, aka Big Fundamentals.
And our own Michael Sauls, aka Maestro, aka The Greatness, aka Ordained Hands. We got a special guest today. And,
I'll let her introduce this young lady, introduce herself. This is first of all, before she introduces herself, this is, when it comes in the entrepreneur space, this is an icon in our area in the Raleigh, Durham, Raleigh, the Rocky Mountain area.
Rocky Mountain area.
We got an icon here representing the organization that I'm proud to be part of called SCORE, which is under the SBA, but I ain't gonna tell her, I'm gonna let her explain SCORE as well. So this is just an honor to have Miss
Patti Williams
here at Underrated Profession in the building. All right, so Miss Patti, tell a little bit about yourself. Can you tell a little bit about what you're into, sport, and all that fun stuff? I know, but I want the world to know a little bit more about it.
A little bit about my background. I am a registered nurse by trade.
Okay.
So I became a nurse about 26 years ago. But prior to that, I was an IBMer for 15 years. I left IBM and went into nursing, started a business. I ran a home care agency for 19 and a half years in the Raleigh area, which I sold in 2018.
Okay.
After I sold my agency, I still wanted to give back to the community. So what I decided to do initially was to start a home care consulting agency. That is my main business.
Okay.
But I'm also a SCORE mentor, which is I volunteer to do free business counseling. SCORE is the mentoring arm of the SBA. We're under the SBA, but we do all the mentoring, and it is a free service.
Key word, y'all hear that?
Yes,
key word.
It is free, and I want everyone in the community to know if you're starting a business and you need help, or if you're already in business and you need a little extra push or something like that, come to SCORE. We have people that know all areas of the business. A lot of us know pretty much how to start a business. I'm good at that because I started my business with no resources. So I know how to tell you to build that business up when you don't have all the resources, and then let the business fund itself eventually.
Right. And you still have your business?
I have a home care consulting business now.
Okay.
That's what I do now.
That's
But when I had the home care agency, it's very, you need money to do that business because you have lots of people working for you.
Right.
So I had to gradually build that business up slowly so that I could pay my people.
Right.
And I had to do that with no resources.
Okay.
So I'm really good at the financial side of the business. When people come to me and they say they want to start a business, I ask them, where is the money coming from? How are you going to get there? Because so many people are like, I have a great idea, but I'm like, if this business cannot make money and it can't fund itself, you don't need to do it.
Right.
And if you don't have a plan to do that, let us find a way for you to make money.
Right.
So at SCORE, I counsel in any area because of the start.
In any area you can counsel, no matter what industry.
I counsel in any industry because every business has a lot of fundamentals. Now, there are people around the country that come to me for the home care side of it because that was my specialty.
Right.
So at SCORE, we put our specialties online and people can Google those and see what we're specialists in. So they come to me for that.
Okay.
But at SCORE, I do all types of businesses. And then I do home care consulting to home care agencies because I was in that space for so long that I know there are a lot of things that they need that I can help with. So that is my private business.
So now, when you mentioned earlier about, and this again, I hope y'all heard the key word free, great resources, and so just real quick, just staying true to our college podcast. And you say you was a registered nurse. Did you go to school here in North Carolina, or did you go to school anywhere else, or did you go to school at nursing school?
I am from Alabama.
Okay.
Right outside Birmingham, Leeds. It's the same place that Charles Barkley is from.
Oh.
But he's younger than I am.
Okay.
So that's where I grew up, and I went to college about 35 miles away at the University of Montevallo. So I have a business degree.
Okay.
That's how I got into IBM. after I'd been with IBM for 15 years, I always knew I wasn't living up to my potential. So I always felt like, I think I can start a business. I really believe I can do this. So I left IBM. And this is a part that I didn't tell you all. When I initially left IBM, I started a nail salon.
Wow.
I had a nail salon for 7 years.
Yeah, so don't confuse. No, we call it the Barber College Podcast, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that people understand that we recognize the whole beauty and wellness industry,
Yes.
right? And that's awesome. I didn't know that.
And the reason that I did that is because I knew I just had to go into business. I knew I had to. And I was talking to my stylist, and I told her, I said, I'm going to leave this job. I can't take it anymore. And she said, well, I know a girl that started a nail salon. She said, you can go to school and get there really quickly. Okay. So I went to school for 2 months, got my manicurist license, and I started a nail salon over on Six Forks Road. Okay.
Wow.
And I was there for 7 years. Now, during that time, I went to nursing school.
Okay.
I started it in 91. In 1993, I started nursing school. I had a great partner. She wasn't a partner. She really kind of rented a booth or a room for me.
Right.
But I went to school in the mornings, and she answered the phone and took my appointments for me to come to work in the afternoon. Okay. So I went to work at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 7.
Right.
I went home at 7, and I studied my nursing till midnight. Slept from midnight to 5. I did that for 18 months.
Okay.
So your students, do y'all hear that? 18 months.
See.
Okay.
What I was gonna say too, Graham, is that Miss Pat is saying that, like you
Is it
had
okay
to
if we
have,
call you Miss Pat?
Yes, that's fine.
All right.
Miss Pat was saying that you had to have guts to jump out there on you, to quit that job and to get out there knowing you have to start from the bottom to climb to the top. You had to have guts. You can't be scared. If you want to be great, you're gonna have to jump out there, right?
That's correct. And see, as I sat in IBM, and I made really good money, money that people don't even make now.
Right.
But I was like, I always felt that my managers were not what they should have been. And I always knew I was underpaid. This is corporate America, y'all. It's still going on.
Right, still going on.
And so I was like, I feel like I can do this. I didn't know if I could, but I was willing to do everything I had to do to make it work.
I know that's right.
So I doubled down. Before I actually got in nursing school and I just had the nail business, I had a great girlfriend. We used to go out and party and have a good time. And I told her, I said, June 1st, I'm starting nursing school. I said, so I can't party anymore.
Right.
I can't do that because if I can just get a good night's rest, it will make me better.
Right.
So
You may lose some friends on this journey.
Yes.
But that's when again, going back to the key word, you mentioned that greatness. In order to have greatness, you got to have sacrifices.
Yes.
And those sacrifices can come from those buddies and those pals.
Gotta have that self-discipline in.
Self-discipline. And it's funny you said something, Ms. Pat. That's something that I remember our instructor told us in barber school. And it took me a little while that I got out because I've been cutting hair since 94, 93, 94. And so I just remember him saying something and it stuck with me. And of course, I went back to make sure I thanked him and everything. But he used to tell us, and I tell the same thing to our students, is that you're not stuck behind the chair, meaning that this can open doors for you. So you may meet your future business partner, and it helps give you capital to invest in other areas. So this is one of this industry, the beauty and wellness industry, is just one of those industries that allow you to give you the opportunity to build capital up to be able to put towards other businesses. You're not stuck.
Y'all, had I not had that nail salon where I could structure my appointments, I wouldn't have been able to go to nursing school.
Right.
And you learn the fundamentals when you're working on when you're in this industry as well, about doing appointments and scheduling and putting that time in. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, and the lady that worked with me, she would make my appointments, and I would come in and go to work, and it was very, very tough because at the time I was 38 years old.
Okay, see there.
See, another
the last one just said that she was in her 30s.
I was 38 years old when I got my nursing degree. I was 40.
See there.
Right. And that's one of the questions.
Don't ever quit.
Don't ever quit. And that's one of the questions we like to ask whenever we get opportunities to run into individuals like yourself that was a little older when they started school. What would you say? When I say when you're like young, more seasoned.
I'm talking about. I feel that again. How tough it was.
Yeah. So I was going to say, what kind of advice can you give someone that was, or your experience, your takeaways from being, a little older?
I would say that you can't party like you did in college.
Right.
You can't stay up all night and drink and do all of that and think you can take a test and learn.
Right.
I was a very good student when I was in college and in high school. But when I got to this nursing school, it was different. It was like a foreign language, and I had to read things kind of over and over, and I had to learn how, and it wasn't sticking at first. But as I got into it, my brain just started to absorb knowledge again. And some days I would study, and I was like, and I had a test that morning, and I remember one day I said, Lord, I don't know anything today. I said, but I'm gonna go in here and take this test, and I did very well. But I was like, I don't know what I just studied these last few hours. I was like, I'm just going to check the box. But I did know it. But I didn't have the confidence. But you gotta be serious. You gotta have a goal in mind and just do that. There's plenty of time to party and do all the things you want to do. You might have to drop a few friends off along the way, but you can pick them up later.
That's right.
If you choose to.
I definitely want to pick them up, because if they weren't willing to go on the journey with me, then they can stay where they at.
Absolutely.
Because I'm focused. If you ain't focused on the same level that I'm focused, I'm growing. I'm not a grown man, I'm a grown man. So
not a tape.
I I'm a grown man though. So if those people won't focus with me, then they can stay behind.
Absolutely.
And don't feel bad. Don't feel bad to leave them behind.
That's
because
right.
if they don't, some of them drag you down. So, you know. But Mr. Graham, will you go ahead and ask her?
So, I had questions we normally like to ask, but she answered all those.
She answered them already,
right? Do you have a funny sense? This is wow. You just blew my mind by going to nail school and everything. That's interesting. So, can you nail school or nursing, either one you would like to say? Would you have a funny story at all from school that you could remember at all? Anything that stuck with takeaways, or if it's not something funny, or maybe a takeaway you got from either nail school or nursing?
A highlight of.
Well, I would say, if I go back to nail school, when I went to nail school, I knew it was a transition for me. But for me, the way I did it, I'll say it like this: the money was small.
Right.
Because I'm the type of person, I didn't have a big salon. I had a 2-room salon, but that's the environment I have to work in.
Right.
And so, actually, there was a lady that came to the other practitioner there. She had a son that was going through some type of a medical condition. And so I would put on this white smock every day. And so when he came in and saw me in the white smock, it frightened him, because he was going back and forth to the doctor. And he thought that she and I were doctors or nurses.
That's right.
And so I started thinking about that. Actually, I'm from a family of 12.
Wow.
I'm number 10 of 12.
Okay.
And there's 6 girls and 6 boys, and 4 of the girls are nurses.
Okay.
So my oldest sister was a nurse, and I didn't go into nursing initially. So I started thinking about it, and I knew I did not want to be a stand-by-the-bed nurse. That's what I call it. Not to diss anything. I did I did that for 3 years. I knew I was going to go into business. So I did some research, and I found out the only way a nurse can really have a business on her own in North Carolina is through a home care agency with a licensure. Physical therapists and people like that, they can do their own thing. So I knew I was going to go into this home care thing. And along the way, a lot of miracles happened. One night I was working at a local hospital, and a lady came in with her husband. They had just started the same business I wanted to go into. So I kind of hung around them that night. They ended up really helping me with documents and things like that. Everything was, when I tell my story, it's just miracles along the way, because I am a believer. But everything just kind of worked out, and I worked really hard to get there. I stayed on my job as a nurse for a little over 3 years before my business funded me coming out. My business did very well. At the height of my business, every day I had over 60 people going to work.
I know that's right.
Yes.
I know that's right.
Yes, every day.
Every day.
And that blessing, you was able to transition that, pass that blessing on to other people. That's 60 people that lives that was affecting change.
And I sold my business, and it is still going with the new owners.
Nice. Awesome. Well, could you tell us a couple of things? I know you got a lot going on, and we don't want to hold you too long, but Did you have? I do have one more question, but I did want you to be able to share with the audience some of the things you have going on, the things you're doing. I know you got some relationships and some collaboration we do with Shaw University, and I know you do some events out there. Obviously, do the score and everything. But you mind? And of course, you know Miss Carolyn here as well. But you mind sharing a few things that we got going on?
Well, the reason I'm here today is that I am going to do a joint education venture with Carolyn Covington. She is a legend in this region, not just in the state. And if you all recall, she had the in-flight hair salons back in the day, and she's coming back with new products. And she still sees a need to give back. She knows that people, she calls them solopreneurs, that they need help with operations and business. So she came to me. She's a friend of mine. So she and I are going together. She's going to talk about the beauty industry and the operational part, and I'll be talking about the business side, making sure they have business plans and all of those things, so that we can make sure that if you start a business, you can keep it, that you do your taxes, that you do your books. If you, what I find even at SCORE also, there are people that make money every day, but they don't put it in the bank and document it. They stick it in their pocket, and I think that the beauty industry is really notorious.
Well, you know, we would know, but we used to say put it on the mattress. You know, we used to put it on the mattress.
When you get ready to go and buy a house or a car, they don't know you did 100,000 last year. They think it was 22.
Because you got to document it.
So you can't get anything, or you want a loan. So I will be talking to them about document your income.
That's right.
Document your income. And I definitely did that with my business. I was able to get lines of credit. I bought my own condo as a business owner. I was able to do all of that because my money went directly into the bank. And I had proof of what was coming in.
Right. Well, we'll definitely make sure we leave the information of this, because that is so powerful, and I'm so excited that y'all are doing this.
Yeah, you said Miss Carolyn. She taught here today, right? Miss Carolyn, did she?
She has a booth today.
She has a booth today.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be interviewing her. That's the lady that was passing by there a while ago.
Please interview her.
You felt the air. She's a legend, icon here. So this is awesome. Well, I was going to ask the question where you thought the industry, your thoughts of the industry and where it's at today, and where's the beauty and wellness industry from your perspective. It's like you kind of answered it a little bit. Right. What advice would you give for someone coming out of school? I know you already kind of said it, but just again, getting into the industry. What's some advice you would give them? What's the first thing they should do?
When you come out of school, you're going to know your craft. You know how to do what you do, but do not neglect the business side of it. Because if you do the business side of it, you can mentor other people, and you can really grow that business. You may be able to move from behind the chair.
Right.
And become an entrepreneur in the beauty industry, and that's what you want to shoot for. Also, one of the things I really didn't do when I started my home care agency is I didn't have an exit strategy.
That's a big one.
Okay.
That means that when you get to the end, are you going to sell? Are you going to pass it down to the family?
Right.
I was very blessed in that my business was set up well enough, because that's how I am. I was able to sell. But I sold my business at year 19.5. But had I had an exit strategy, man, I would have gone at year 7. Year 7 was my best year, and I would have exited then, but I didn't have an exit strategy. I had set that business up to take me to retire.
Can you explain? I know what you mean by your best year, but just real quick, just so that's a nugget right there.
That's a nugget.
Could you explain what you mean by what you would have did in year 7 versus 19 because your best year? Could you kind of explain that a little bit?
I had started in 99, so in 2006, that was my best year revenue-wise. Everything was humming. It was rolling. It was before the stock market crashed in 2008. Yes, all of that. That's the year I bought a condo for my business, a brand new condo. I had done everything. And then the economy started to decline, and it hits everything. And so had I gotten out then, I would have have made more money on that business. I made money when I sold in 2018.
Right.
But I was like, okay, this is gonna stay like this forever, and I'm gonna be in business until I get ready. But when you're in business, everything around you that happens affects your business, your income. And look at what the pandemic did. So everything that happens, something can happen in your city. Just look at those people out in Ohio that had that train derailment, and now their air is not clean. They don't have water. If your business was in that community and you were a hairdresser, you would have to go. You have no water.
It's going down.
Or you have respiratory problems. So just keep in mind, you have to think about being ready when the timing is right.
That's right.
Now, I am happy that I was able to stay in it that long, but if I had gone out at year 7, I don't know what other business I would have gone into.
Another venture or something
everything was
else.
different, yes. And I could have, but I was like, I start this business, I'm going to take it all the way, and I did that.
Right.
But just make sure that should be part of your business plan. I had
I was just going to say that's
excellent business plan.
Right.
That's what got me there. But if I had the exit strategy too, that part I neglected to put in there. I mean, now we're talking about it more.
Right.
So make sure you put that in there so that you may sell in year 3.
Yeah.
You may be like, oh, I hit it. I'm
out of here.
Right.
Yep, because that exit strategy was something that I learned late in the game as well. That I was like, man, when I first heard it, I was like, and actually it started when I started the barbering program here. We collaborated with Wait Tech 6 years ago. And we had Miss Katie Gills.
Yes,
Miss Katie Gills
I know Katie
Miss Katie
well.
Gills, and she was with our Wake Tech Small Business Center at the time. And she did. We collaborated and created a. I like the one of our mantras for the program is we're the first business school of barbering.
Right.
So we want you not only know how to cut good hair, but run a good business. And she was the first time in our training that I heard the exit strategy. And it was like an aha moment. Like she's exactly right. And so I just wanted to kind of go back to what Ms. Pat said, that she noticed, and that's why you want to follow your business plan.
Right.
At year 7, you had it humming.
Like she said.
That means that was the highest value of the business at the time. That would have been the perfect time. That was the perfect time to sell. Yeah. We could get caught up. We all do. We get caught up when we're feeling good, and the business is doing what we think gonna be forever. Yeah. But that's why having that business plan.
And then you can never foresee what happened. Like she said, in 2008, that's when everything started. That hit plummet. They plummeted. So everything started to go down.
That was awesome.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Graham, but
but this was great. This was some great gems dropped in here. I know Miss Pat, you got to get ready for some other things, and thank you for taking time. Do you want to try to play the game? Let's play the game. Want to play the game?
Want to play the game? What time is that? You trying to play the game?
I don't know the game. And I don't play
this
games I can't win.
I know that's.
But this is not a win or lose game. This is not a win or lose game.
This is something
So
we do
if
for
I can't
fun.
lose, I'll play.
Yeah, all right.
All it is a question. You just spin it however you want to spin it.
We just added this to the podcast
to our new
for fun.
segment. So
you
just spin it how you want to spin it. All right.
We got what we got.
Okay.
All right, so you got to break it down. This is a game.
Okay. Would you rather be loved or feared, and why?
Okay, I'm going to put a spin on that.
Okay.
I would rather be respected.
Nice.
Okay.
So I think respected is close to fear.
Okay.
Because if someone says they love you, they'll do anything because you're supposed to accept it. But if you respect me, a lot of stuff you're not going to do. You're not going to think about it.
You're right, Miss Pat.
So I ask for respect, and I guess fear is close to that. So.
I love that.
That's the other part we left off.
I love that.
You can answer in your own words.
I love that, Miss Pat. You're exactly right. I totally agree.
Yeah, I do
totally
too. I
agree.
do. Don't say respect.
I'm gonna have to charge y'all if you don't let me go.
So on that note, what we do? You have anything you want to say to the audience, or anything you want to share and
tell them to contact you if they need
how to contact
if
you,
they need your
best way to reach
services
you.
or whatever.
Yep.
Yes, I would just like to say to all the students, hang in there. Once you get education and you get that paper, no one can ever take that from you. You may not use it the way that you should, or you may pick it up later, but if you get it, it belongs to you and it can't be taken back. So I'm definitely an education proponent. If you want to get in touch with me as far as business counseling, I am with SCORE of Raleigh, and our website is raleigh.score.org, and I am on there. You can come on and it'll say, do you want to find a mentor? You can put your information in, and if you want to mentor with me and I'm available, you can put that in the notes that you would like for me to be your mentor. We get very busy sometimes, or I can co-mentor. Say if William was your mentor and he wanted me to co-mentor for my specialty, I can do that as well. But I encourage you all, please use the business resources. All of this stuff wasn't out here when I started my business, and so I did it the hard way. It's still going to be tough, but use your resources, and SCORE is free.
Keyword free.
Y'all heard that.
All right. So, well, on that note, I thank y'all again for another episode. My name is William Graham, Big Fundamentals.
I'm Mike Stroh, aka The Greatness, aka The Ordained Hands. And we was here with Miss Pat.
I am Patti Williams, and it's been wonderful talking to you all.
All right.
Best of luck to all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bam. We done. That was it. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Miss Pat.
That was good.